day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
Ooh, it's always weird when that it just gets a little choppy there.
Right there. Oh, damn, and there he is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and add him. You good, brother?
I think so. It was. I had to try a couple of times to let me back in because it wouldn't. You kept saying, it was not letting me in other words.
Okay.
Time, so it's all good.
All right. The live stream will not be streaming on our personal Facebook pages. This is the new year. Oh, I just not peeped that. You got 23 in the vet. Yes!
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Okay, so yeah, it's streaming real good. Oh, well, hey, Brandon. 2 shares already? Did y'all share it?
No.
I shared.
Okay, I can share.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, let me go to my.
I can share it. I really want to start bringing more people into the group. I guess the more people watch, they'll see it. And then to my God level page, go ahead and post that. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone had a good time last night. I hope everyone made it home safe and sound. This is January the 1st. This is our first podcast of the year on the first day of the week. Thank you, Diamond, for that. This is Things People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by me, God Level. Before we jump into tonight's topic, I want to go ahead and have my panel introduce themselves. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father with several hip hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms. I have Lightbenders, I have Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, I have Final Dimensions that's going to be released within the first quarter of this year. If you like artists like Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Sky Zoo, Common, Yasin Bey, yo, I'm your guy. Go ahead and plug in, get some of them vibrations, support your local artists, support underground hip hop, support true lyricism.
Absolutely. Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. No S. Year. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything and also on TikTok now. Newborn Everything. And as always, I am of service.
Absolutely. Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hetepu, Uncle Jasaneb, Ujayi all. That's greetings all. This is Sabah Diamin. I am extraordinaire life coach, teacher, nutritionist, father, business owner, looking at it all. So I'm always here finding ways to serve everybody. Look for me on as I'm this year be launching the Abode of Osar Institute of Personal Excellence. It's where I launched and I'm able to help you with my high life coaching skills. So come and get the direction. Don't come into this new year not knowing where you're going or having an idea and not knowing how to get there. Come reach out to your boy. This is what I do. I show people how to reach their goals, how to make dreams happen. That's what I do. So reach out to me. You could just hit me up on my Facebook page by the name Diamond. And see you then, Uncle Jasaneb. Hetepu.
Good evening. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all of our new members. That number just like jumped. Thank you, King Newborn. So I just wanted to say thank you to all the new members and to remind everyone that we offer free advertisement. If you have a business that you want to pump up, go ahead and message us. Have your stuff, in order and ready. It is free 99. You do not have to pay for anything. But we will definitely give you the floor on our podcast, during our live, for you to pump up your business. Moving forward, tonight's topic is forgiveness.
Part 2.
I'm a bit nervous about this one. I said I was going to take the lead tonight because I had a very interesting weekend, which I am grateful for. A little backstory. I made a post. Oh, hold on. What is this? Okay, never mind. Thursday, I made a post about how I started the year 2022 in chaos and ending instability. And no sooner after I made that post, I start to feel something that was just like brewing in me. It just made me nervous, uncomfortable. I couldn't put a finger on it. I know that I had been feeling some kind of way about the subject forgiveness, and I've been asking myself, do I forgive others who have wronged me? Do I forgive myself? One particular person in general, one person in general is my ex. We had a very emotional roller coaster last year, and it didn't end quite. We didn't depart peacefully back in August. Brother, please forgive me for not telling you this, but I did put myself in a situation where I could have actually lost my livelihood, at which point I had to fall back. I had to fall back and leave the situation alone. Fast forward 4 months. Here we are, end of the year. We're talking about forgiveness. And I realized I have not forgiven him. I did reach out to him Friday, and we talked all evening, and he allowed me to air out everything. At first, I wanted to meet, but during the conversation, I thought, we don't need to, because everything is being aired out right now. Even though his perception and my perception are different to why we ended, as my brother told me a long time ago, because sometimes he thinks I don't be listening to him. When you can walk away from any situation with understanding, you're winning. I understand that his perception of how things went is different from my perception. And that at that moment, I had to accept that that's what it is right now. At this time, this is what it is. And then, it also led me to go ahead and to forgive him for everything that has transpired between the both of us. And the moment I did it, I felt a release. It was like literally taking scissors and cutting the strings that was connected to heavy baggage that I had been carrying around, which was attachment to that trauma with him. So as soon as I let it go, it was like a release. It was a relief. I was relieved. I actually felt a whole lot better. I looked in the mirror the next day and I felt better. I said, you know what? It's not the end of the world.
Ooh, okay.
Stop, and I understand that we are not, all of us are not operating in our authentic self. We go through things coming up, and then we begin to add a mask and continue to move forward in life until we become self-aware of who we are and how we're moving. A lot of it has to do with how we grew up, as far as, did we grow up in survival? Did we grow up in a home based in love, which will determine how we're moving throughout life and how we're treating people. And I also understand that people don't give out pain unless that pain has been given to them. And then my brother also said something this weekend that stuck with me. I just keep throwing you out there. You are only as wise as your past. And I was like, that. So he thinks I don't be listening to him, but I take it all in.
God bless it.
I take it. Sometimes I zone out on his ass, you know, when I zone right back in, like, you better listen to this man. You know. So yeah, we departed peacefully. I forgave him, and now I'm just looking forward to 2023. I do, however, wish him healing. I wish, that, hopefully one day he take out some time to look within himself to get to the root of why he moves the way that he do when it concerns a woman and heal that version of him. So yeah. Why are you looking like that, John?
I've been just expressing and oozing,
Yes.
and oozing. Just,
Yeah, we talked for a good while. I did. I thanked him the next day, because we was on the phone all Friday evening, and I thanked him the next day for giving me the floor to just allowing me to express myself. And we wasn't arguing. There was no bitterness. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. And I'm happy that and it's also closure.
How sweet it is.
So
yeah. Let's build on that. Let's build on that.
Go ahead.
That was love, right? That's love. All I heard was love, 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 love. That's all I heard was love, love, love. So is there doubt when you reflect on the relationship, the interactions, the experience? When you look back on all of it, has it been love, and is it still love?
It's some love there. It is some love there. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have been on the phone as long as we were. I mean, when you don't love anyone and you don't want to deal with them, then you're not going to even give them 2 seconds of your time. So go ahead, brother.
Big brother almighty Mr. John Skywalker.
Y'all put me in the hot seat last week and I was uncomfortable. Today I'm ready. Let's go.
You ready? Yeah. You got the gloves on today.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's go.
Yes.
My brother, big brother almighty Master John Skywalker, he's pressing the word love because it's a action that we fail to display when it's time to put that work in relationships. You got to put the work in. He's alluding to that when you take the time out to apply knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and also perspective of the other person, you can align it with love, which is an action. You're not just responding or reacting. Right. You're taking the time out to hear what's really going on. Right. And then you can see your role in everything that is happening. And you can sometimes dial back a little bit and be like, you know what? Now that I'm hearing everything, not just with my ears, but I'm hearing everything with my mind, I understand your perspective now. So we fail to do that in relationships and in marriages, also in friendships. We don't take time out to hear what's actually being said. We don't take time out to collect the data, the information. Furthermore, this is why I always allude to there's no such thing as agreeing to disagree. We have to take the time out to agree to agree. By agreeing, it might not say I'm in alignment with what you're saying, but I'm in alignment with your understanding and your perspective. You have to give the other person
That's
the
it.
opportunity to naturally be whoever they are. So
That's
even if
it.
it's a person that's stealing because of simple fact, you look at well, stealing is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we can say not only some people have been stolen or taken through human trafficking for whatever that purpose may be, but we can also say there are people that are stealing to provide for themselves because that's what they know. Not necessarily saying that it's right, but I'm just saying that's what they know.
Mhm.
You know, so you can't discount them out just because they're not in alignment with your moral compass or your principles. But I do want to say I want to commend you, sister. I really, really, really want to commend you. This year, 2022. Well, it's 2023 now, but in the
Yeah.
past, 2022, it's been a new year for you all year long. A lot of growth, a lot of development, and because of such, you have helped this panel grow in multiple ways. I myself have been doing a lot of forgiveness to myself. So, and sometimes you have to see examples of it from a big scale and a small scale to truly understand. Hey, you still got work to do yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say peace, peace, peace to you and that young man, because that's a milestone that brothers and sisters are having a hard time trying to combat because we're too busy stuck in our mindset
Yeah.
of how we feel.
Yeah.
Let me be clear about what I'm saying.
Oh
We're too
no.
busy stuck in our mindset about how we
We
feel.
Yes. And that's why it took so long because of
Mhm.
how I was
Right.
feeling.
Yeah. See, love is an action that overcomes that because we understand in order to get to this true understanding,
Mhm.
real dialogue has to take place.
Yes.
Real dialogue. And sometimes there's gonna be some stuff that you don't want to hear that may hurt your feelings.
You know, and I was ready for that.
And
And
that's
I was just,
peace.
I
Ooh.
was ready
That's
for that.
peace.
And I told him, I said, just even if it hurts my feelings, let me know.
Facts.
I was ready for that, and I put that out there. You know, it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to, but it went exactly the way I needed it to in order for me to release it. So
That sounds like a quote from Master Skywalker. May not go the way you wanted it to.
but it went the way I needed
Oh, it's gonna
it
go
to.
the way it needs to go.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I was
Every
able to
single
walk
time.
away with
Every
understanding. I really was like, okay, that's his position. This is my position. Okay, I'm going to be acceptance. I forgive you,
That's big. That's big.
Acceptance.
you know,
Yes.
and I release you in peace and in love. I
Salute.
wish you healing,
Salute.
you know. So yeah, it was time for me to take that book bag off. I was walking around with a book bag full of weights.
You almost sound like Sabada Ahmed and Master Skywalker talking right now.
Well, you know, side note, when I started 2022, I put out there into the universe that I want to be surrounded by men who love, protect, and honor me. And when I got to the end of the year and I look back, here you all are. Here you, yes.
Y'all supposed to raise your hand.
I'm sorry. I know Black men get a bad name. However, y'all don't realize y'all saved me last year.
Is it anyway? I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt because I love the
Go
flow of
ahead.
everything that's going on right now. Please, 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 if you are listening to us right now, you tuned in by the way of comment. Can you state your name and the state you're in? And Happy New Year to you. Everybody that's I don't know who it's just a Facebook user.
It just
Yeah,
says,
it does.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
we
who
have
that
we
is.
have Donna Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, Tiffany.
Yeah, that's
Cosmos.
Tiffany.
Oh,
okay.
Cosmos
Salute,
or Cosmos.
Yeah,
Okay,
Cosmos.
salute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got them
salute.
two commenting here on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, ladies. I feel you on the love thing. I love that. Thank you. Look at where you are. Yeah, I have come a long way. From the start of 2022 to today, I have come a long way, and I could not be here had it not been for you, gentlemen. Trinice from St. Louis. Hey, boo. It's one of
Peace,
my
peace,
nurses.
peace.
All right.
Wait a minute, hold on. Am I reading that correctly?
Trinice from St.
No,
Louis.
no, above that.
Love Shines is tuning in.
What was
Mm-hmm.
just asking where she was at?
Yep.
Yep. Love Sean's in the house.
Peace,
Yes.
peace,
Trinice
queen.
is in the house.
Peace,
In the
peace,
name of
peace,
Wound up
Sasha
being
Renee.
divinely protected as you asked for. Yes, I did. I mean, I can't ask for a better group of men. I really can't. And having this group of men right here, highly intelligent, educated, loving, caring, compassionate, top tier. Top tier. Marquita from Georgia. Hey,
Yeah.
Salute
That's
to
my
Georgia,
sister.
salute to
top
St. Louis.
tier, baby. Y'all better come get y'all one of these. Was it a good black man?
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Don't you start no trouble, God level.
I love
Oh,
y'all.
you know what? Also, before we, because I know we finna dive back in, I'm pretty sure John got some very, very, very great questions, and Sabadama would love to peel back to the mental connection to all of this from a great, great, great counsel's understanding. It is a new year.
Yes.
Do we take a moment to acknowledge that we've been doing this longer than a year now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Latanya Chapman from St. Louis. What's up, love? How you doing? Thank you for
Hey,
chiming
hey.
in.
St. Louis
Share
in
the
the
Hey there,
building.
live.
Latanya.
Oh yeah,
Share
that's
the
another thing.
live.
Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please
Cosmos
subscribe.
from the nitty
Please
gritty New
comment.
York.
Please share.
Mm-hmm.
Please invite.
New Yorican right there.
There you go. Invite and share the live.
And comment.
Yeah. And call.
And
Call
call.
in.
And call.
Call in. Talk to us.
Right. What does
Yes.
forgiveness mean to you? How do you know that you? What was the question? How do you?
Oh
know you
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
forgiven?
I wanted to build on. I wanted to
Right.
build on that from
Go
where you were
ahead.
at.
From what I
Yeah. So just looking at your experience, and again, this is for the audience members as well.
mhm.
How do you know when you've truly forgiven yourself or truly forgiven someone else? How do we know? Because we say it so
Mhm.
easily, right? It's so
Yeah.
easy to say. So how
It
do we
is-
know?
Yeah. Because you start to become mindful of those thoughts coming back in from that particular person, and then you be like, you know what? I've already forgave him for that. I forget, and then you feel a release. You feel at peace.
I was just going to get
Mhm.
to that part right there.
You
A chemical
feel at
response in the
peace.
brain sends
Yes.
a nice little
Ooh.
feeling throughout the body, little tingling
Yes.
sensation. Matter of fact, I think it's one of those things that we call aha.
Mm.
You be like, dang, it was all the time. It was me. Because you can't do anything outwardly if you don't take time out to do something inwardly.
There
You have to
it is.
take care of internal. You have to take care of internal. So it's important to forgive yourself first.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, what does that look like?
This
What does that
panel,
look like?
There it is.
Ooh,
Say it one
what
more
does that
time.
look like?
This panel. He said it. This panel. This panel. Yeah. Yes. Peace. Love.
All right. So
compassion.
in that, yeah. Let's talk
Mhm.
about that feeling. Let's talk about that feeling.
Yes. It's-
mm-mm.
You
I
you, you
got
hinted at it. You hinted at it. So elaborate on the feeling.
on the feeling.
Yeah. What was
Yeah,
that feeling?
peace. I felt relieved.
Mm.
I felt a release. It
Mm.
was more so a release for me, like a that was the end, like, okay, it is done for me.
I wanna say and I'm not trying to cut off God level. I want to say one of the things that I know is for myself is when you do, like God level said, you forgive yourself first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling that comes from it is a release, but more importantly, it's like that weight, that burden, no longer holds you in bondage anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone.
And you also dig in a little further. Some may acknowledge it, some may not. But let me put a little bit of a spotlight on it. You acknowledge the fact how much of a creator you are, because it is mentally that you create this bondage, and it's also mentally that you free yourself of it. No one else is in control of that. Nobody else. So again, a lot of these points that are going to be made, it's 100% showing how much of a creator and control you have over your life, over your true existence, over your decisions, choices, and executions. You know, and Master Skywalker and Sabadaman, accountability. It comes in play heavily. Accountability.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Peace, 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 Chicago. Happy New Year. Man,
From Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
no names, man. Just say Facebook user.
Yeah, Donna's from Chicago.
Oh,
Okay,
peace, Donna.
Kiki. Hi, Auntie. How are you? So yeah. Oh my God.
Mm.
Who the comment harboring
No animosity.
no animosity.
When they
Oh,
come
that's
to
also
Illinois,
Donna. That's also
Okay, that's
Donna.
Donna too. Yeah, I love that. I love
yeah,
that.
you're gonna
Yes,
be like she
yeah.
said, feeling at ease in their presence. Like
Yeah, it's peace.
there it is.
It's peace. Your brain, because you know the and I'm sure Saba, you can help me break this down. But in your mind, you have this. I don't want to use the word hate, but it's a target on a set individual that you know you should forgive, but you won't allow yourself to forgive.
Yes.
And you just like full steam ahead. Oh man, boy, man, if you let me when I see
if I see that,
yeah,
there's gonna be some furniture moving. Like
it's gonna be some smoke.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking about no SOS signals.
Yeah,
man.
well,
Down
again,
here.
that's called resentment. You're still resenting someone, and sometimes it feels you actually want to be justified. We have to understand like these emotions, like resentment and anger, you know, all the things that stem from that. They're very powerful, you know, and they're powerful because they have a physical effect, a physiological effect inside the body. They create hormones. There's actually 6 hormones that are associated with, you know, with resentment, which any type of stress. There's 6 of them, and so and these are messengers inside the body. And for those of us that are still convinced that our outer experiences are the real deal, we end up subscribing to that, to the way we feel at that point, and we don't want to let it go because it's real to us. It's like we don't even know that there's something else, you know. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. The thing about it is, and I love the question that John had posed. So how do you know that you've actually forgiven yourself and forgiven somebody else? It was something like that, right, John?
Yes,
so
sir.
how do you know that? Well, the way you know this on the subconscious level. For one thing, the hormones cease having a subconscious effect on you. That's one thing. You don't feel any, even if that situation is actually mentioned, there is no emotional pushback. You know, there is no emotional conflict with it. You know, it just is. It just is like another day being mentioned. So that's one way that you know. But if you continue to struggle, if you continue to have to tell yourself, "Oh man, I'm gonna leave that alone," because you know that wells up this and that, that means the forgiveness have not taken root yet. Has not taken root yet. So even though you've said yourself, "I forgive you," but have you really? It's not a verbal thing. You know, forgiveness is an internal thing.
It is.
You know, you have to, just like anything else, you have to do that with your heart. Period. So you got to release that with your heart, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to say that to you.
No,
With
that's
that, with
Ashay.
that question right there, with that, what he just said, do you need empathy to forgive?
Wow,
I would say
that's a good
in a
question.
certain way, yes, yes, because with empathy also comes understanding.
Yep, Ashay, Ashay, Ashay.
It comes understanding. But that's just my answer. You know, that's just my answer.
Who is this person? I would love for them to call in and talk.
Yeah, that's Cosmos right there. I
Yes,
figured it out.
Oh,
Cosmos and Donna lighting it up over here.
Yes, they are. Thank you. Share the live.
Love Sean got it going on.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that because I was standing in the bathroom this morning and I was like, am I feeling good all the way down on a cellular level?
See,
Ooh.
and that's important because
Like,
that's what those hormones
and
attach.
I'm telling you, it looked like I was standing taller and I looked in the mirror. I looked different. It's like, it's, man.
That sounds like when we was talking about. I pointed out how much weight you carrying when you leave the house because you choose not to forgive.
You move lighter.
Mhm.
You feel lighter.
And you live longer. That
There it
just
is.
at the end of the day, you actually do.
Yeah.
And scientific proof that you live longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was the name of that mental health group?
Cosmos. Cosmos. What was the
Okay,
name of that
Cosmos.
mental health group? Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go because I want to see these people's names. You know, it made me remember. I read Amina. Oh my God, did you see her response? I love that woman, baby. She said it so eloquently. She said, "Forgiveness is for the forgiver."
Mm-hmm.
It truly is.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is for the forgiver, and when you truly
Primarily.
let go, ooh, it feels so good to say,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm not going to carry this with me anymore.
It was called relationships. Okay.
Yeah. It's primarily for the forgiver.
Is Cosmo saying relationship was the name? Relationships was the name of the mental health group? Is that what she's saying?
He.
Oh, my bad. My apologies.
It was called. Oh, is it?
Right.
Oh.
I don't know if that's tight.
Hmm.
Mm.
All right. So I have another question for us. In lieu of again, so there's kind of a
For me
sequence
or
here.
for us?
For everyone. This is for everyone.
Oh.
This is for everyone. So, all right, well, yeah. So we can start with you first, right?
Wow.
We can start with you first.
Keep going. Yeah.
So with you experiencing that release, that sense of freedom,
Mhm.
right? All right. I want to pose this next one, and this is going to tie into the one that I posted in the group, and we'll read some of the results, which were extraordinary. So, with you feeling and experiencing what you experienced, do you believe everyone deserves forgiveness?
Yes.
You experienced it, right?
Yes. The fact that he even said he forgave me, I was like, what? Because I did some things in August that could have the statute of limitations ain't hit yet.
Okay.
You know, and he was like, I've forgiven you for that. And I was like, oh wow. He said, I can't hold a grudge. So yeah. Oh my God. I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Yeah. So hold on, let me bring it back up. So
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Do you believe it? And so I pose this question in lieu of some of the other ones, right? Forgiving others, and then there's forgiving yourself, right? So
yes,
I would imagine just hearing other people's responses to the question, it's not surprising to hear that there are people that believe that everyone doesn't deserve forgiveness.
Yes.
Yet I
Well,
would wonder if you've experienced that feeling of being forgiven, including if you did something to yourself. Now, I don't want to exclude this because it's typically we talk about forgiveness in terms of what we do to the other person, forgiving another person. But when it comes to forgiving yourself or being forgiven, we sometimes forget about that, right?
Right.
So if you've experienced these feelings that are associated with being forgiven, including forgiving yourself, why wouldn't you project that feeling as well? Why wouldn't you want anybody else to experience that? And I understand that the transgression levels are going to vary, right? Some people are going to look at it in those terms, like, all right, well, some things are unforgivable, John. So killing or molesting a child, robbing a bank, selling drugs to your community, like we're going to scale these transgressions and we're going to measure our forgiveness, right? The strength of our forgiveness and our capacity according to that. So we say, well, I've done these things in my life and I feel like they are deserving of forgiveness, right?
Okay.
And then when you compare them to other transgressions, such as taking a life or abandoning a child, abandoning yourself emotionally, psychologically, losing your house, whatever, right? When there are experiences that you haven't experienced, it becomes a little bit more challenging for you to forgive that because you haven't experienced that. And so I wonder, just based off of our limited experiences, do we tend to broadcast and determine someone else's level of or someone's level of deservedness for forgiveness just based off of our limited experiences?
well, let me ask you this. If you have forgiven yourself in this in a situation,
Okay.
do you really need someone else to forgive you?
Personally, no. Personally, no.
Okay, so now I ask that because we don't want to take forgiveness out of context. We keep on saying that it's for the other person. Do you believe that everyone deserves forgiveness? Like, now remember, it is definitely for, as was stated before, the forgiveness is for the forgiver primarily.
Forgiver.
Now,
Did I say it wrong? I'm sorry. Did I say it wrong in the beginning?
no, you did not.
Okay.
You didn't. You said it correct. I'm just saying that if we understand that, then I would say that renders this particular question kind of obsolete. Only because if we understand, if we put it in the right context, that forgiveness is for the forgiver, right? If we're the ones, then it's not about if we're forgiving somebody else. This is about, or if somebody else deserves forgiveness. They have to forgive themselves in that situation. Because even if you forgive them and they still haven't forgiven themselves, they will still be tormented. You know what I'm saying? The torment comes from, have you released it? It's about the individual releasing it, whether you're the transgressor or the transgressee. Have you released it? So it's about that individual releasing it, and so if you've released it, it doesn't matter if somebody else releases you. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you've released it. And I'm not saying, again, it doesn't mean that, because some folks, like I say, your conscience is pure. It says consistent and trustworthy as the electron itself is incorruptible, your conscience, meaning that you cannot lie to your conscience. You know what's going on. Sometimes that stuff is eating you up because you were foul. And you might tell somebody, well, I ain't going to worry about it no more. I'm just going to go on about my life. But it's going to be eating you up because your conscience is incorruptible. You see? So then at that point, it's about, can you truly forgive yourself of it? But also, like I said before, it takes a level of redemption. If you're the true transgressor, then in order for that forgiveness to actually take hold of yourself, you've got to make up for it. You got to come back and redeem yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but if you're the one who were transgressed against, then it is for you, forgiving is just releasing it. That way you give, and this is why I said primarily forgiveness is for the forgiver. Secondarily, it actually is for the transgressor, only because you give them room then to go ahead and complete their redemption and move forward. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And move forward. So that's why I was saying that, that a lot of times we think of it in ways to where who deserves forgiveness and who doesn't, what act deserves it and what act doesn't. We try to weigh these things on us as if one is more heinous than the other, when actually it's not. The scale the soul sees it all on the same scale.
Ooh. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
And good evening, Joyce Williams. How you doing? Where you hitting us up from? I can see her. I'm seeing the names on my phone, so I can shout everybody out.
I love it.
So I posed this question to the group, and this is one of the more high performing polls that we've had. So shout outs to everyone in the group who participated. We had 35 votes, and the majority of them said yes. Let's see, we have, and I'm going to read some of the comments. Let's see. So let's start off with Chris. Chris said, if you repair what you damage, you deserve forgiveness. Okay.
I say, let real quick, can I address Love Sean's? Her comment said, the soul does not have the heart, but very well said. Let me tell you that it's the heart that pours into the soul. The heart is the gateway to the soul, beloved. They're still tied. Okay, they're still tied. So you don't even get the quality of the soul without the heart.
This is God Level. Who am I speaking with? Hello, this is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
That's Cosmos.
They hung up. It's all right. Call back.
Call back.
I think that's Cosmos.
This is God Level. Who am I speaking with? He's not saying anything.
Oh, they're shy.
Hello.
Don't be shy.
Right.
Don't be shy.
It's okay. Let's try it again. This is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's Cosmos.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. How you doing, God Level? This is Con.
How you doing?
Cosmos.
How you doing, Cosmos?
How you doing, King?
I'm good.
All right.
What's your comment for tonight?
So my comment. Hey, what's up, everybody? My comment.
Peace.
I think that everyone, if they have an opportunity to forgive, I believe that everyone should forgive and practice that right. For the simple fact that you got people walking around with all this baggage, and you had mentioned earlier, like I put the book bag down or whatever. And I feel like when someone forgives, it's really for the person that's doing the forgiving. And I know y'all was just talking about the forgiver and all that stuff, but and I agree with it. But I didn't get to hear all of it because I screwed up the function over here.
Mr. Cosmos, turn your TV down in the background, babe, so we can hear you clearly.
There's some feedback.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right. So I believe that forgiveness is like basically you should forgive when you have an opportunity to forgive. I know it's not easy but that's only because people don't understand the true definition of forgiveness. You know, like there's a couple of things, and I was looking for the paper that I wanted to take a snapshot of and send it to one of you, but I can't find it right now. I'll send it like tomorrow when it's daytime over here.
Okay.
But one of the myths about forgiveness is that they tell you cannot that forgiveness is like you have to say something, like you have to go to the person and say I forgive you, but in fact you don't. You could actually have forgiven. You could forgive somebody and nobody has to know. Nobody has to be talking about it. The person don't even have to hear you say it. And why? Because it is for you. It's technically for you, because if you don't forgive, from experience, you walk around with a grudge that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time out your day and a lot of muscles move just to dislike somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to forgive and move on than it is to not forgive, to show them a lesson. But meanwhile, they're moving on with their life and you're stuck over here trying to show somebody a lesson. You know,
Absolutely.
exactly what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another question, I'm sorry. Another question I believe is will be good to ask in this session is why, you know, as hard as it is for us to forgive others, most often, most of us eventually do. That's just, you know, our nature, right? Now, why is it that even though it's hard for us to forgive others, we eventually do, most of us, but at the same time, while it's easy for us to do that or eventually forgive somebody, how come it's so hard to forgive ourselves? Because I find it very easy to forgive somebody and move on just to, you know, be lit out. But when it comes to me, I can't find it to forgive myself. I'm constantly beating myself up mentally over and over and over again. It's crazy.
I say.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
That is.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for calling in with your, and we're going to unpack that. Does anybody want to go ahead and tackle that question?
Which question?
He said, why is it so hard for you to forgive yourself?
Oh yeah. That's a good question.
And how I want to make a point. He said something. You don't have to tell the other person. I didn't tell him.
Exactly.
I didn't tell him. I made a conscious decision within myself after talking to him. I didn't say, "Hey, I forgive you." I just did it.
That's right.
I didn't even share it.
Facts.
I didn't send a message say I forgive you. I didn't even share it. There was just something for me.
I want to put out there because John always drops. I'm sorry, Master.
Thank you. Wait a minute.
John
Thank you
Skywalker.
for calling in, Cosmos. We really appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Don't forget to share the live.
That's a good topic. Now, if I call it again, will you answer? I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Peace, King. I just want to point out Master John Skywalker. He be leaving breadcrumbs. If you remember early part of the show, he was asking about love.
Yeah.
Love is one of the is the highest action a human being can perform. And by doing so, based off of what Kaz was saying, if you link this together, when it comes to forgiving yourself, you are showing one of the highest acts that you can do, which is by showing love to yourself. Exactly.
Self-love. Yes.
Self-love. Yes. Yeah. So just think about that for a moment, because how Kaz was alluding that, you know, when you do it, nobody has to be around.
Because sometimes, who wrote that?
The only person that needs to understand it is self.
That's it.
The only person that has to make validation for it is self.
So Joyce Williams brought this. This is Joyce's comment. But sometimes telling them will change their hearts.
Joyce, call in, honey. The number is 832-318-6966. I want to hear. I want to hear from you.
And I also would love to hear from Christine Alcamo, who wrote that longer one about her forgiving a man who killed her sister, and how she feels about that. See, now we get into the thick of things.
There you go.
Now this is what some will deem as an unforgivable act.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, man, so I would love to talk to you, Christine. That would be very nice, and my condolences. And I hope the family have stay
Okay.
strong through that ordeal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be good. But here's the thing.
This is God level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
Oh, that's
Joyce.
Joyce. Okay.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Good.
Excellent.
She's a new member, so welcome.
Welcome,
Peace,
welcome,
peace,
Joyce.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I said that because I had a situation, and well, it was kind of different where I apologized, and there was no forgiveness there at first. And if you all don't know, I'm telling you now that I am saved. So I do follow the leading of the Holy Spirit. And me and this young lady at work got into it. We got into it really bad in front of everybody. It wasn't where I was cussing or anything like that, but it was a good little fallout there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was somebody that I worked with every day. Actually, I was her manager. And me and her got along really good. It was just hectic that day. And my boss sent me on break. So I'm in the break room, and God, the Holy Spirit is telling me, go apologize. I said, okay, Lord, I'll apologize. When you get off work, he said, no, you apologize now in front of everybody. That's when you clown it. That's when you apologize. And I got up and I went and I apologized. And she looked at me and she walked away. And I went back to my break and I started crying because I was like, Lord, she didn't even she didn't receive it or anything. Well, she got off work earlier than I did. She got off work at 11. I got off work at 1. And she waited on me when I got off work. And when I got off, she walked up to me and hugged me and said, I could have never done that. I could have never done that. She said, what you did was admirable. She said, and I'm sorry about what I've done and all that. And I forgave her. And I said that to say that sometimes when you tell people you forgive them, it can change their heart. People who do wrong sometimes have never felt love, have never been loved by their parents, people around them, and just the love from somebody who knows how to love, somebody who knows what love is. Because remember, a lot of people don't know what love is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get that mixed up. So they don't know what love is. But to forgive somebody who truly, truly hurt you, who killed a loved one, who broke your heart, and you forgive them, that can change their heart. That may be the first forgiveness they ever heard. So don't hold back on your forgiveness, even if they don't receive it. Even if they don't receive it, tell them. It can change their whole life. We're talking about forgiveness where it changes people. Either it's going to change you or it's going to change somebody else. I'm in the business of changing people, changing their hearts, changing their minds, whatever I can do to renew their minds from the way they used to think to the way they think now. So don't hold back your forgiveness. Even if they don't receive it at that time, they're going to think about you. They're going to think about you, and forgiveness is a process. It is a process.
That's it.
Where somebody hurts you and you tell them you forgive them, that it's not still in you. It's a process, and it'll work its way out because of you, of who you are. If you hold on to it and never forgive them, it makes the journey longer. Remember
Yes, it does.
For 40 years, when the journey only took 11 days, because they didn't understand who God was. So when you understand what you're doing, and it's a process, daily process, and you can walk in your forgiveness. You can walk in the freedom of forgiveness. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you.
Ashe. Peace.
Powerful.
Love
right.
that. Thank you so much for that
Awesome.
testimony. Love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joyce. And she's in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, right across from Missouri. Hey, honey. Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and just for the sake of saying, for those that are new to the podcast, this is a place of peace. Um,
This is
you're
God
safe.
level. Who am I
Oh,
speaking with?
go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
This is Christine.
Christine, turn us
Hello,
down in the
Christine.
background.
Yes.
How are you doing?
We are doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Oh my
I
God.
don't do that. Sorry.
Did you turn it down? Yeah, it's oh
There we go.
that's the dog. It's okay. Diamond wanted you to call in. You made a oof. Now that's some forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it took me a few years to even get that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to do it from where we were at that particular point in time. I know how my nephew's doing. I know that somebody was there to receive my mother when she passed. I know that everybody is genuinely okay at this point in time. But I do want this man to have a 360-degree view of who he affected. My mother, my brother, my sister's son, who was there, my nieces, my nephews, everybody. And in his family, his mother not being able to have contact with him the way that she would want to, and his family. And that the fact that what he said was the impetus of all of this was so superficial.
Take your time.
I want him to know what he did, and I want him to forgive himself, and I want him to go on with his life in a much better way, and hopefully he can make up for it somehow in the future.
Right. By helping someone else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a big moment, a big opportunity for forgiveness. But you never and again, I think you mentioned some about forgetting. I don't know why, I don't know who it was that put forgiving and forgetting all in the same sentence, but you don't forget. You know, you don't forget. You have to bump your head quite hard in order to forget, but you don't forget. And you're really not supposed to forget. But for forgiveness, and again, releasing yourself of that particular energetic burden, but also leaving room for the other one to say, I forgive myself and I am ready to make up for this. I'm ready to make this right. Give them room for that and being able to do that. And as Joyce was saying, it does help for them to hear it, you know, because it helps them move forward, you know. But is it necessary for you to forgive? It's not necessary, but it does help. So I see both sides of that. And again, Christine, man, my heart just goes out to you, and I'm glad that you found it in your heart, you know, to forgive. And actually, what you're saying, there's a lot of love in what you're saying, as far as I want him to have a 360-degree view of who it is he affected. And so, because out of this can grow more understanding in his heart and love in his heart, to where he won't do it again. So that's what redemption is. When you transcend that behavior, whatever mindset that made you do that, you need to transcend that mindset. That's what it's all about. So
And
thank you, beloved.
I think that actually his redemption is up to him.
Mhm.
I have to send everybody love and light and then let it go, because everybody's supposed to do what they have to do to get to wherever it is that they want to be. And I think it's kind of karmic in a way. I know that sounds weird, but whatever you give, you will get.
She said
Yes.
it.
So I have a
Absolutely.
question for Christine. Did you have any help in your journey of forgiveness, or did you do this just on your own?
So yes, I did have some help, and I'm not necessarily a religious person. I'm spiritual, and it comes down to it. And it took me a while. It took me actually a lot of reading. I know that sounds weird, but it took me a lot of reading to kind of get to where I know that I want to be, and how I want to live my life, and how I want that to move outward and have a ripple effect in the world. So, there you go.
No, that's beautiful. No, that is beautiful.
Let me ask you something, Christine. You said you're spiritual. Is there a certain spiritual path that you follow?
I think if I look at everything, I think I'm more Buddhist in nature than anything else.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah.
Understood.
Wow.
Yeah. I can see why.
Wow.
I can see why.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God. Do y'all have any other questions for Miss Christina?
I just have nothing but gratitude for her.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yes, power
calling
to
in.
you.
You guys are doing a beautiful thing. I love your talks, and I love actually re-listening to them because I'm not usually available. Kind of night. So thank God I'm available tonight and listening. So,
Thank you.
It is definitely our honor and privilege. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Oh, absolutely.
Bye.
Peace.
Man,
Man.
y'all are wonderful. Y'all are wonderful. Callers coming in. Oh, y'all are wonderful. All of y'all are wonderful. Cosmo sent that paper, by the way.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Let me see if I can download this first and then upload it.
Someone else called. 530. Call back. Let me go look at it.
And yes, this podcast is for the community. We are here to help you all as well as you are here to help us. This is true exchanger of currency.
Forgetting never happens, but as time passes, it hurts and disturbs your peace less. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's still gonna take me a while to get to this. Let's well, let me go ahead and get to
some of those questions.
Yeah. So going back, does everyone deserve forgiveness? We had 35 votes. Out of 35 votes, we had 24 say yeah, and we had 10 say nah, and we had 1 say unsure. Just to read some of the comments. Corey said, I feel that forgiveness should be more for your sanctity than it is of theirs. It allows you to freely release any negative connection to what hurt you. One cannot move on if their mind remains in the same place.
Facts.
Yeah, Corey's a star in the community. Ivy, not everyone deserves forgiveness, but it can be given regardless. Okay, that's the awesome part about it. You don't always save the other person, but you save yourself every time you make a conscious decision to let go of the actions of someone else. Every time. 100.
Facts.
Josephine says everyone is deserving of forgiveness, being that the Bible says to forgive so that we may be forgiven. And like you said, John, it's not about the other person, it's for yourself. And forgiveness doesn't mean that you still have to deal with that person.
That part.
Okay. I'll read one more and then we'll go over into another one of our questions. This one's from Fitzgerald the poet. Everyone deserves forgiveness because everyone deserves to be happy. You forgiving a person doesn't have anything to do with that person. It has everything to do with you. Once you're in a happy place in your life, you can easily forgive someone, whether they killed your vibe or your mama. It takes a It takes a minute per situation, but eventually you'll find your happiness again and you will be able to forgive that person. The slogan, I'll never forgive this person, is just like traveling on a bike from Georgia to California. You'll eventually get there. Just going to take some time.
Facts.
Love that analogy. Yeah.
Glad I was able to tune in. Good evening, Tori Lynn, all the way in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, I'm throwing you a shout out.
Man, I wish we could see these beautiful people
Names.
faces and names.
Yes. I don't know what's going. We're gonna have to go ahead and switch over. This will be the third time, but I'm okay with it.
Twitch.
Hey, sis, girl.
All right.
I love you.
And let's take a step back because we touched on this question right here with
All
Cosmos. Is forgiving yourself easier than forgiving others? We did a poll for that one as well. Thanks to everyone who participated. We got 14 votes for that one. Wow. All right. So we have 3 say self-forgiveness is easier. We have 3 say forgiving others is easier. We have 8 saying that neither is easier than the other. So it's pretty balanced.
Speaking from my experience these last couple of months, I kept holding myself. I felt like I should have been different. It was harder for me to forgive myself because I felt like, man, I wish I would have moved a little bit different and certain things would have never occurred. So it was harder for me to forgive myself. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I tried.
Yeah.
But I'm here now.
And I definitely say it's harder to forgive yourself than it is to forgive others, because you tend to hold yourself to this standard of making sure that what did I do? You ask yourself the question all the time. What did I do? Was it me?
Yes.
What did I do wrong, and so forth?
Yes.
And even though you can forgive the other person, but you're still going in on yourself, like, okay, I need to see, understand my part in it. And so this is why conversation is so important, so you can get closure. That's all you're searching for at that point, is closure on a situation.
Sound like accountability all over again.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, it's a very, very I could say shell of a topic, because there's so much sustenance within that shell, because we haven't even talked about what are the implications of forgiveness when it comes to love. What love is. At the end of the day, all of our relationships and all of our connections with each other is all built on a foundation of love, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Love doesn't require you to acknowledge it for it to exist and for it to be a fact. It doesn't require you to acknowledge it. But when you do acknowledge it, you can move more easy. There's less friction in the world when you actually move in accordance to your acknowledgement to love. And that's an agreement. So when we enter into relationships with people, whether it's a friendship, an intimate relationship, or a relationship with your, family or what have you, that relationship has to be built on the foundation of acknowledging love. Like, I would actually want to experience love with you, in this particular experience that we're having with each other. So what does that mean, though? That means there's a level of acceptance. There's a level of acceptance of me where I am, but understanding that I'm still coming forth, that I'm still growing. So I'm going to make some mistakes. And when I make those mistakes, instead of giving me ridicule and judgment and condemnation, give me some understanding. That's what we do. So that way, it's only through that understanding that we tend to go ahead and forgive people. Or, like I say, we want to get to the point to where we don't have to forgive anybody because we never held it against them in the first place. Now that is a point to where you are totally at peace. So you can transcend forgiveness. You can transcend it. So that's the point. That's the point you want to get to. Because if you're still struggling with forgiving and things like that, that means we all still have quite a ways to go,
Mhm.
because that's where we are. I say.
I have another question, just pivoting off of what our dear Saba has spoken about. What are some alternatives to forgiveness? Right, because you know, I imagine that we're in that space. For a lot of us, it's just automatic. All right, I have to forgive. For some of us, we're just predisposed, conditioned to initiate that process of forgiveness. But what are some alternatives? You know, like if we choose not to forgive, what other options are there? Because I imagine for some, since it is a process, they may not know how to start the process. And I think if you are results oriented, as a lot of us are out here, then
Joyce said baking a
Making a
cake.
cake.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Making a cake.
But what are some alternatives out there? Is there anything better than forgiveness or equal to forgiveness?
Well, like I say, it just boils down to understanding, understanding and love.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, that's so you don't have to forgive. If understanding, the more immediate that understanding is there, you know, the less likely you would have to forgive anybody, because you never held it against them in the first place.
Facts.
And that's what I said. That whole conversation gave me understanding, and then led to acceptance of where we are at, and then it allowed me to forgive him for everything he has done, and also forgive myself for beating myself up for not being different during that time and preventing certain situations. But there was nothing I could do. So right now, I'm at peace.
You know, that's beautiful that you point that out, because for that acceptance, for that accountability and acknowledgement, if we're able to do that in the moment, like instantly, like hold on, let me really pay attention to what's going on right now before I make a decision that later on costs me or put me in a position where I have to let go of something or move forward without. And when you look back on it, you be like, man, if I went about that differently, I wouldn't even be dealing with forgiveness right now. Just like Sabbath Ahmed said, you know, when you apply knowledge, wisdom, and you get understanding, it helps you see the bigger picture. And when you see the bigger picture, you be like, oh, that wasn't even about me. You know, I'm just saying certain situations, it's not even about you. Yeah, certain situations, it's not really about you.
No.
You know, and sometimes we stand in our ego so heavily, we ain't even allowing ourselves to see what's going on for real. You know, because for real, you could be a conduit to be the true vessel to display an example that needs to be displayed, which Sabadama and Master Skywalker pointed out, which is love.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. All right, Sea-Moss. I say Sea-Moss. Cosmos.
Actually, I got you right here. Right here. This is extraordinary. Here it is. This is what he sent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. I need to make my screen bigger.
All right, so I'll read some of these for those who can't really see it. Forgiveness is letting go of resentment, anger, and hostility towards someone who treated you unfairly, even though you are justified in having these feelings. Forgiveness is recognizing the wrongdoer is human and treating them decently despite what they did. Forgiveness is a chance to amend a relationship that was damaged if you choose to do so. Forgiveness is a mental shift or change of heart that develops over time. Forgiveness is a process that can start at any time. You can even forgive a person who is no longer in your life. Forgiveness is an opportunity to heal. Forgiveness can reduce symptoms of trauma. Let that one simmer.
Breathe, baby. Breathe.
Reduce symptoms of trauma, anger, anxiety, and depression. Additionally, it can increase hope and self-esteem. Woo. Last one here, I'm gonna read. Forgiveness is a personal decision that only you can make for yourself. No one can make you forgive another person.
Yes. Well, that one, about trauma. I was just about to make this comment, and it's in line with King Newborn was saying. Basically, it's our triggers having relationships with other people triggers. That's when it ain't got nothing to do with you, right?
Watch out there now. Watch out there now.
Say it one more. Wait a minute. I was liking something. Say it one more time.
Stinker.
Wait a minute. Say it one more time.
It's our triggers having relationships with other people triggers. That's why, because when it comes down to it, what they bring to you, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's something they was triggered about a while ago, and now they're bringing something to you, and then you and your triggered self, you react.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to slow it down, have that moment of peace, analyze, observe, and then only respond afterwards. That way you can respond with peace, knowledge, and wisdom at that point. And then that's what understanding is.
That's what I understand. Man.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir. So you was hitting right on it there, brother. Right on.
That's why I always like I remember one day he was in the barbershop.
Was I there?
Yes, you was. We was in the barbershop and God level said, why you always say peace? I say it's my trigger.
Yeah.
It's my trigger. It's my offense and defense to remind myself to stay in alignment based off the conversation, to actually try to hear what's being said and hear what's not being told at the same time. Because like Sabadama said, if you listen hard enough, you'll hear what you want to hear. I'm gonna say that one more time. If you listen hard enough, you hear what you want to hear. You're not hearing or taking in the information that's actually being said. You'll reroute another person's conversation based off your own triggers from something that happened way back whenever. That's why sometimes if you ever heard in a conversation, a person be like, wait, what? That's not what I said.
Yeah, right.
I heard you. You said such. And then when you repeat it, you be like, no, I didn't say that either. And before you know it, you got like almost 4 conversations going on that wasn't the original conversation. Everybody lost at this particular point.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not funny, but it's real. It's not funny, but it's real.
Yeah, you're trying to the person that actually said whatever it was they were saying, and the person didn't receive it correctly. The person that was transmitting might lose. Wait, hold on. What was I going? Because miscommunication. Now you trigger because you feel like you're not being heard. The other person is triggered because they feel like they not being heard. But the initial response was you wasn't listening in the first place. Now everybody triggers a trigger, like Sabadama said. Now you got to go down this deep rabbit hole of nothing, based off of nothing. Because you're dealing with your perspective, your ego. Oh, I know you got me. I know you ain't.
Right.
Like what?
Right.
What just happened?
What just happened?
Now we at each other's throats over nothing.
I say, that's it. That's it. And this is why it takes understanding. And then once we get to this pinnacle of elevated consciousness, we'd realize that we are all one being having a relationship with itself. And you should never want something for somebody else that you don't want for yourself. Then if you understood that now, then forgiveness makes all the sense in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world. You see? But we'll get there. We taught that's 12th dimensional understanding. We're just in the 3rd. So take your time. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, it might be a while riding from Georgia to Cali on a bicycle.
Right.
Bad communication, bad comprehension.
Facts. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. Everything distorted. You like, man, I do not understand any of this. This is jargon. Bunch of
It's not funny, but it's real. So I be laughing at the wrong time. Y'all know that already, though.
No, but that's for real though. You know how many times, well, sis, you've been there in the barbershop, the little conscious corner, as they like to call us, and a whole conversation will come from what that person is having a conversation with themselves in their head. Like, you said this, and that's, you be like, no, I didn't. But their response is based off what they thought you said.
Yeah.
And they keep flipping that and flipping that and flipping that. And this is where my sis can vouch. This is why I say that's peace. That's peace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this particular point, neither one of us are qualified to have this conversation. Since I understand that, let me just say that's peace. Respect.
That's it.
That's peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would just be
I don't
looking
even know what we're talking about anymore. You know, and Master Skywalker are quick to tell somebody, okay, let's snap this up because we need a destination.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's land.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Where are we going with this?
Right. We need a destination. Immediately, we need a destination.
Where are we going with this?
What are we talking about?
Oh,
yeah, bust out. All right, look, check it out now. I got another
Right.
I got about 10
Yeah.
minutes. I gotta go. I got
Like
a client,
that.
I got
Yeah.
work. I got
Yeah.
I gotta go. We ain't got no destination. Well, I'll tell you what. Check me out tomorrow. Rumble like after 6. Get back with you.
Oh man.
Hopefully you have.
He ain't gonna
crazy
waste
part
his time.
is,
John is not
indirectly-
gonna waste his time.
Oh no! Indirectly, he make you do the work. So when you talk to him
Real
again,
quick.
yeah, when you
Real
talk to him
quick.
again, we got this. All right, now. So why did we do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Misunderstanding come in at now. Wait a minute. Hold on.
You
Now,
know.
you know what triggers you.
That's why I had to apologize beforehand. Before you jumped on, I said, John, I want to apologize beforehand.
Oh, you didn't even need to do that. I mean, I was
Because-
just enjoying I was just
Because you was
enjoying
like, no. Because at first he was like, no, you still got healing to do. And I'm like, yeah, he right. I do.
Mm.
But I didn't want to come into the new year with it.
Oh,
It was
that's
right
Yeah,
there.
It was a
It
personal
was in
decision.
that solar plexus.
That it was
Oh yeah. That's where it gets lodged at.
It was right there. I was a hot mess Friday. My energy, I was reminded how powerful my energy is when walking into a room. Everybody was like, okay, what's wrong? Because that's not Renee. And I'm like, I know it's not me. But once I had that conversation, I literally did a release. It's just like, whew.
Mm.
So yeah. I thank you.
I just want to say, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit of how much we create daily. We have frequencies and vibrations that are moving and energies that are moving around us constantly. We charge any and everything animate and inanimate that we come in contact with daily, man. Daily.
Yo, listen up.
You don't know how much that just from a brainwave of you not even thinking correctly, you know, you're not even in alignment, how you just distorted everything in front of you, your whole future from that point. From that one point, and then you be like, man, I'm just having a bad day. Well, how did the day start?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How did the day start? Here's another prime example. Somebody cut you off in traffic. That's someone's mother. And everything started to go downhill from right there.
Yeah, if you allow it to.
But I mean, when you swearing and cussing,
If you allow it to.
When you understand traffic is always going to be traffic. There's no way to evade that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless stay out of traffic. But if you're going to be in traffic, you have to understand that this is a part of it.
Yep. Say that.
And again, we're using the word understanding. You have to understand.
Okay,
that
thank
this
you,
is a part
John.
of it. This is a
Well,
part of it.
let me read a quote that I heard. I was reminded of, and it just floored me when I thought about it, because I've been trying to think of a way to say this, but then I heard this quote, and it comes from Shakespeare's Hamlet, in that and it's framed in that phrase, "to be or not to be." It says most people only exist, never truly are at all. They exist as predictable equations, reacting rather than acting, walking compendiums of aphorisms and taboos, reflexes and syndromes. That's what people are. Okay. And I'm like, whoa. So that goes back to when I would tell people that some people are here just to make this experience feel more real.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all they are. They're players, foundational players, to make the experience feel more real. So understanding that, you have to also understand what your purpose here is. What did you come here to do?
Yeah.
You came, and it has everything to do with consciousness, with the evolution of consciousness. It has everything to do with that, and really nothing else. It has nothing to do with how well you how successful your business is, or how you climb a corporate ladder, or what your education level. All those are just components into elevated consciousness. That's it. But elevated consciousness is the key. But then how do you take these experiences that you have with people when you cross paths? What do you do about those? And all I can say, if you are struggling to forgive somebody, and if you're still wrestling with that, then you have not expanded your consciousness and your understanding where it should be for you to make viable progress from a spiritual standpoint. But it's there, because we all get there. We all get there. Okay. But just remember, as it says, that most people only exist and never truly are at all. Okay. That's it. They're just predictable equations, reacting rather than acting. That's it. So try not to be one of those. Okay. Try not to be one of those.
What I say, you become a conduit. You don't even know it. What type of transmitter are you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's scary, man. Cause yeah, that's scary.
Mm-hmm. It is. So I do. This was a very healthy conversation. I really appreciate
very,
the conversation.
very. Thank you.
Like your last comment.
Did we get the last comment?
I said, did you like anybody like that last comment?
Oh,
I'm so guilty of this. I call it conversation jumping, because I didn't hear what was said, and my mental be somewhere else, and I be trying to listen and end up hearing what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I call it
Yeah.
zoning out and zoning back. I call
That's
it
pretty-
zoning out and zoning back in.
That's pretty transparent.
Yeah, I call it zoning.
Yeah, that's pretty transparent. That came from Latanya
yeah.
Chapman.
Yeah.
And shout out to you, Latanya. She is really contributing to the group and her topics and her inquiries. And shout out to you, Tanya. Latanya. I'm sorry, because I have a sister named Latanya, and I just call her Tanya. But but shout out to you, Latanya,
very much
for your contributions and your wisdom. She's full of wisdom. Full of wisdom. Yes.
That's those Charlie Brown conversations. So on Tuesday, wah 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 wah.
I can't stand juice.
Right.
Okay. This is gonna, since we've talked about forgiveness, I don't think we need to go over more of this, but now let's move into gratitude, being thankful.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's next.
Yeah.
Allow me to start this off. I want to thank my panel. each and every last one of you. John, and May 7th, you saved my life. Dion, May 7th, you saved my life.
Who we
Diamond,
say?
I'm sorry, King Newborn. I'm not above being corrected. I love my brother. That's his little check. You know that, right? That's what we say. Come again, try it again. Diamond, you have been. I'm honored to have you in my life.
Oh, and
I'm
likewise.
honored to have these group of men here on my podcast, in my life, in my world. I love y'all. I want to just 2022 was a hard year for me, but I have to acknowledge the people that helped me get through it. Robin, who provided a safe place for me. My sister, Megan, who where I work at right now, who was instrumental in getting me this job that technically I was never interviewed for, but yet I'm working it.
That's it.
I want to thank, the people at work who were so welcoming. I want to thank my family. And also, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for allowing myself to receive the help that I needed, that I could not go out and get myself.
I say.
Decide, choose, and execute.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was not in the right space, but I agreed to it. I didn't know how to do it, but I agreed to it. And so I thank me for having enough love for me to do that. And here I am. Yeah. I want to thank me for loving me, for showing me some compassion, for growing. I don't know if you realized it, but this past weekend, that conference call that we had, that was a growth spurt for me. I was like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mind highlighting that? I'm sorry. I mean to put you on the spot, but I was just saying it was.
I did. I put it on my Facebook. I was like, today's conference call was I thank my brothers because today's conference call was a growth spurt for me. I may have said it like that, but yeah. I am so happy to have good men in my life I can call on at any time. I love that. So yeah, gratitude. I am very thankful for you all, for everyone who has been instrumental in getting me here to this point right now, including self. So our next show is gratitude.
I say.
So without further ado, Diamond.
There's a war that exists at the soil beneath my feet, and I can't sleep. I woke up in 7-minute increments to your malicious ways and empty promises of better days. I heard you lying and people crying and dying due to your lame game of Simon Says. You, the serial killing prayers, Hannibal Lecter wannabe. So it's death you want to see. A look at America's past might not surprise your ass since you fit right in bearing white sheets for skin. The rich is getting richer while the poor is staying poor while you throwing all the jobs out the door. I don't remember hearing unemployment in your campaign. You seem to be the only one drinking champagne, toasting to the broadening of faded color lines, resurrecting hard times and reducing dollars to dimes. So we're scratching and scrounging while you're laughing and lounging behind the walls of a cultic uncivilization, producing threats of wars and needless laws. I woke up in 7-minute increments because I couldn't sleep to the drum beat of my people marching on Wall Street, hauling Easters of miseducations, police brutality, and Social Security deprivations. With their dreams hung out to dry and confidence in their steps and their heads held high, they have come to make a burning bush and cleanse America's vagina like a cleansing douche to put into her womb a diverse nation without this sugar-coated segregation. I woke up in 7-minute increments with more knowledge of your plots and whatnot, your schemes and empty dreams and your plans for the white man, and knowing that I can never be the right man, but understand that I woke up in 7-minute increments to protest your request for the conditioning of my black mind. But you lack time. I become wise to your wicked lies and resistant to your premeditated genocide. I heard the morning sun calling my name to awake me from my shame. See, I'm no longer enrolled in your fool school and not a part of your nigger figure. I'm dancing to the beat of a different drum this time. I'm sure the buying subordination is a big crime, but what you call sin is what I call not giving in. But your malicious fights have rendered me an insomniac and I can't sleep at night. The lines on my face are an etymology of what you did to my race. So how am I not to hate the one who hated me? Our conflict of interest is created. See, there's no justice for my pigmentation. When you realize you close your eyes to the implements of discrimination, when you will continue to hear the words I speak until I get the freedom I seek. I'm not just selling for being a meek. I just want to finally get some sleep. Peace.
Ooh. Ouch. That was a paper cut. Ouch.
Wow.
I gotta step my game up.
Is that a key line?
Okay. No, because you did it. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
that was a key line. That was a key line. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to. That was my mic dropping. It's a brush.
Baby. Drop it. Just. Oh wow. See, y'all make me better because I'm trying to get to that level.
Key line.
I'm trying to get to that level.
Key line.
That was called Insomnia on an album that I do not have coming out, so don't ask.
Right. On the album, man. Oh my God. I say, good job, brother.
Very.
Good job.
That
was great. Tamisha Lloyd said, I don't even know who she is. Hey, Tamisha, where you snapping from before we head on up out of here? Oh, wow.
We also want to ask each and everybody that's tuned in, listening, comment, calling in. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. We want to say thank you. You are greatly appreciated. But please, like, share, comment, and more importantly, subscribe.
Yes.
To each one of we're just on Facebook, YouTube, and what else is
Facebook, YouTube, and I'm still hitting up Twitter, but this is our main group right here.
Okay.
What's up, South Carolina? This is our main group right here. Share the group, invite like-minded people to the group, share the live when we come on. We're posting thought-provoking conversation topics every day. John B having some really good questions. Our next topic is gratitude. Ooh.
I'm gonna always keep saying accountability.
That's right.
So yeah. Thank you to all our new subscribers. We love you and look forward to like Amina would say, hearing your perspective. Appreciate it.
Facts.
All right. With that being said, we will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Yes. Salute y'all.